Hello everyone, I'm Rachel and you're listening to Let's Talk Avatar. This is a watch through of The Legend of Korra. Isaac and I will be discussing each episode and giving our opinions on it. Just as a reminder, this podcast does contain spoilers for The Legend of Korra. This is a teen-rated podcast, so listener discretion is advised. Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk Avatar. My name is Rachel.
My name is Isaac.
And fun fact, this is the second time we're recording this because we recorded a whole entire episode.
Really good, deep thoughts, in depth.
It was like 30 minutes long. And then we went to edit it, and guess what? There was a really annoying beeping the entire...
It was like a...
Yeah, the whole episode through. So I deleted it. Whole like 30 minutes. So we're going to have to re-talk about everything we've already...
We will try as hard as we can. I'll bring up my notes back up, and we will try to be as in-depth as before.
It's going to be hard, though. So, our quality might not sound as good right now because we figured out what was wrong with the mic. The cord has gone bad, so we have to order a new one. But we're also going out of town next week, so...
Sorry, that's...
Next week's, the episode after this one probably will be with the same mic because we won't have been at the house to grab the cord. So anyway, yeah, bear with us for the next 2 weeks until we get a new cord. And we're trying, like Isaac said, to bring the energy we brought the first time because it was a good episode.
Yeah.
We were pissed. Me and Isaac literally were so pissed. We were like, you know what? We didn't even re-record the same day. We waited till the next day, which is today, obviously, to record because we needed time to, just not think about the fact that we spent all of that time on it was such a good episode, so in-depth, and then it just was ruined.
Yeah. My first initial thought was like, it's not happening. We're not recording it.
Yeah, we were both like, no, we're done. But we also, the worst thing about this is the fact that this is the first episode from our break.
Yeah.
So we had put so much energy and effort into it, and then it just flopped.
Our faves flopped
Yep.
on this one.
We were just done. So, apologies in advance, but we still have some things we do want to talk about with this episode.
But this is also, welcome back, everyone. If we didn't already say that. Since we've been gone for a while.
We're so glad to be back. We've already been working on so many things for the podcast that it feels like we're already back, but we're not.
I'm just kidding.
I have
okay.
Recording, giveaways, planning other giveaways.
True.
It feels like we're officially back, but obviously this is your first reintroduction to us. So, we're glad to be back. We're so glad you're listening, and we're excited to be making content for you again. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, this episode is episode 1 of season 4, and it is called Balance.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting choice of word. So right off the bat, we see advancements in Republic City. We have Korra Park, which is pretty cool. I forgot about that.
I did too.
On my, we keep bringing up our past watch-throughs, but we really did not pay attention until this watch-through.
True.
There's a train rail system now, thanks to Kuvira, and a new Earth King. Or soon to be, question mark?
Yeah, he's gonna get, the coronation's coming up. This Earth King, this is how sad the queen was. She had no family but, a great nephew or something like that. Or the nephew.
Yeah, and he is kind of... I wouldn't say he's, evil, but he's just kind of...
He's just annoying. You just want to punch him.
He's like that rich kid in school that's like...
I never have to go through anything rough in life. And
so I'm going to bully you.
Yeah. I'm going to make your life hell, and I'm going to make you have to listen to everything I have to say.
Yeah, say. Airbenders?
You have to be the bad guy, eh?
Airbenders are boss this season.
Their outfits? The way they snap?
They snapped.
They snapped.
Our faves snapped on this episode.
Yeah, for sure. What did you say last time we were recording? They look like flying squirrels.
Yeah.
What did I say? They like the gliders without having gliders.
Yeah, they're really smart.
They're really smart.
Kind of reminds me of like a big "fuck you" to Zahir. Because, like,
they're like,
yeah, we don't know how to fly, but...
We entered the void without having to kill our loved ones.
Exactly. We can fly without entering the fucking void.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Workaround.
So, this episode, I would say, is just, like, a catching up of what's been going on for the last few years since Korra had the accident with the accident? Had the, like, mishap, I guess
Sounds like she, like, pooped her pants. Like, she had an accident.
Pooped her pants?
Do you think
what is your
Korra
obsession with poop today? Because you mentioned it before we recorded too.
Wait, hold up. Genuine question. Do you think Korra ever pooped her pants in that pool that Katara was helping her in? Katara's like, oh, we got a little floater. Let's get that out real quick.
She, like, bends it out in, like, a water globe thing and, like, takes it over to Katara's like, Korra's like crying because she pooped in the water, and Korra's like, Katara's like, it's okay, I gotcha.
Katara's like, it happens to the best of us.
It happens to the best of us. She's like, I had to pretty much do this daily for myself.
She, after Korra gets healed, she's like talking to Toph, like catching up. She's like, yeah, you had to bend a poison out of her, I had to bend that fucking turd out of her.
You just relate to this episode.
This is our first introduction to season 4. Anyways.
Okay, if you've never listened to our podcast and this is your first episode, like introduction to us, yeah, good luck. Sorry. I would like to say we're not like this all the time, but we are.
Okay, so Kuvira is introduced for the first official time, not just a background character. Hopefully no one on that train's pooping their pants, but
yeah, because there ain't any water benders on there, so they're screwed.
So there's like that train we talked about earlier. There's like a huge, massive train system, and our introduction to her, there's like this heavy drum bass that gives that like confident vibe, or like very commanding, and I feel like they nailed that with Kuvira's character.
Yeah.
She is just like... It's hard for me to get the same emotion
I know.
as yesterday. Her personality, she's a lot like Korra in a sense that they're so amazingly written. Mm-hmm. They make sense.
Yeah, scary.
It's scary.
Yeah, especially Kuvira's character, because she's such a mental mind game manipulative type of person,
but she does it in such a confident way to where it comes off as if she's not doing that. Yeah,
like you have the people,
it's so aggressive, it's so passive aggressive.
You know what's interesting, which I didn't talk about the first time we recorded, is you have like the two sets of people: the people who are for Kuvira and want to see her succeed, and then the people who know that she's up to something bad, like the airbenders. And obviously something went on that they haven't told us about yet. So imagine, we've already seen this season, but imagine going in, watching this season, and you've never seen anything before, and you're just wondering, like, what did she do so wrong? Because the last time we see her, she's like...
She's helping them.
Yeah, she's Suyen's, like, right-hand woman. And you would not think she would be how she is now, you know?
And it's not like she's necessarily evil or, like, not helpful. She's just very, like you said, manipulative. And like
she has an agenda. She's
Machiavellianist.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a word.
She has an agenda, and she's gonna make it happen, regardless of how she has to do it. And remember, we were talking about, like, the thing with her is all of these Earth Kingdom tribes and territories are suffering right now because bandits are taking over, stealing their food, their resources, everything they have to survive, and she's pretty much using that as leverage to get people to support her. And it's like, if you're an actually good human being,
you would just give them that food.
Yeah, and if this is your kingdom, like these are your people. These are people like your neighbors, your friends, your family. Why would you not just help them out? But she's like, you know what? I'm going to take this as an opportunity to be the great uniter, which is what they call her, you know? So if
you're given a title,
right there tells you, like, ooh, Kuvira is the one to watch out for. Like, there's stuff going on that we don't really know.
Yeah, and anytime they mention the Earth King around her or something, she just
rolls her eyes.
Like it's nothing to her. Mm-hmm. It is not a problem for her. She already has made it up in her head that she has
think about
the authority, because she does.
Yeah, when Mako is walking out with the Earth King, well, soon to be Earth King, and the Kuvira supporters, he's like, those are Kuvira supporters.
Oh yeah.
The fact that she has supporters and the Earth King really doesn't goes to show you how much influence she really has. You know?
Yeah. She gives me strong colonizer vibes.
Mm-hmm. No, that's what's happening. She's literally colonizing all of these areas. And she doesn't want to stop at the Earth Kingdom.
She's not destroying these areas, but in a way she is, because she's destroying the culture.
Yeah.
She's making everything the same. Mm-hmm. And that's not good.
Yeah, she's like...
And with a place so vastly different from tribe, territory to territory, like the Earth Kingdom has such a huge landmass, and there's so many different cultures that, like, if you unite all of them and globalize all of them,
it's gone. Like, there is no culture.
It's just you colonized it.
It's, the sad thing is, too, is these people are so desperate for food and to live that they fall for it.
Yeah, they're willing to give up, because the alternative is death.
Yeah, it's like, take Kuvira's offer and let her rule us and have this food and the resources we need, or die, like, try and survive on our own, which... They know they won't. Even the airbenders tried to help them, and the bandits, still get them, you know? Like, that scene when they're in the air with Lefty. Who names their bison Lefty? That's all I gotta say.
I like Lefty, though.
I like Lefty, but, come on. Lefty deserved a better name.
Interesting group of characters that Kuvira keeps in her close circle. We have Julie and Varric. Bolin, Kuvira's lover, a.k.a. Opal's older brother, and a few other people. Like a weird mix of people, but it works.
It works. Well, it's like I was telling you, having Varric and Julie and Bolin, obviously there's something later on, we know, but later on they will play a part in it, in her downfall, essentially, because they know what she's really up to. And Varric, like I said, he's an independent guy. He has his own agenda. He has his own plans. But he'll help people along the way.
I get what you're saying.
But, he's only there for his own reasons. You know what I mean?
I think Bolin might be...
Bolin is so innocent in it all, though.
They're all kind of independent people, though. You notice that?
Yeah.
Around her? Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's kind of smart in that way.
I was going to say, the thing with Kuvira is she's not necessarily, such an evil person in the way that we look at evil.
She's super complex. The most complex villain, I think.
Yeah.
That has ever been.
She's very independent, very smart. And like you were talking about last time, she took on all the bandits by herself.
Oh, yeah. The first 5 minutes of the show. And her, troop comes after her, one of her, people comes up to her and is like, you want us to take care of that? She's like, no, I got this. Mm-hmm. Goes up on top of the train and destroys the bandits.
With making, 3 steps.
Yeah.
She doesn't move from her spot hardly.
Yeah, and she's on top of a train.
A moving train. No, it's not moving. Never mind.
I was going to say, dang, it was moving.
That was dang, she could do it, though. That's the thing with Kuvira, is it's hard to dislike her. Because she's such a good villain. What we're calling baddies.
Yeah,
baddie bet.
She has perfected her craft. Mm-hmm. She strikes me as someone that tries many things, but perfects little, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it.
She corrects the little things that she needs to. Because she's perfected so many things that she fine tunes everything. Is that what you're meaning?
She has it mapped out. And as long as this is perfected, this is, it'll run smoothly.
Yeah. Yeah, with, just the first episode, you see that from her. They do a really good job introducing her.
Major Capricorn vibes.
You know what's crazy? Is the fact that when we see her in season 3, she's like a nobody.
Literally.
When I first watched this, I didn't care about her character in season 3. I was like, I don't care who you are. Get out of here. I don't care about your character. And then you don't realize till season 4, obviously, that she's going to play such a huge role in the show.
She's kind of generic looking, but that mole actually like stood out and helped me identify who she was and remember who she was from season 3.
They must have done that purposely because she was such a like
background.
Insignificant character that they wanted people to remember but not overtake.
But the way she takes control, I'm sorry, but there's something so
she
cool.
commands it.
There's something so badass about that. Like, I'm sorry, but she's evil and all these things, but it's just so cool. We've also never seen this kind of threat in Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
I think the closest we've gotten was Ozai, but Ozai never left his fucking throne for some reason.
Yeah, he had everyone do stuff for him, which
we talked about on our first time trying to record this. Kuvira does everything on her own.
Mm-hmm.
The only time she lets people do things for her is because she knows she can't get to that, or she's bitten off more than she can chew.
She's very calculated in the decisions she makes.
She knows she will get it done better, so she does it.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Also, the dynamic between Opal and Bolin. We talked about this again on our first recording, whatever. Opal shows up at some point. Mm-hmm. I keep tapping the table. Did you hear that? Sorry. Opal shows up at some point with Kai to like meet up with Bolin, Kuvira, and all them. And she's wondering like, what the heck are you doing here with Kuvira? Like, are you not aware that she's like doing these things? Because at this point, I think Bolin's status, like, what is his role in her cabinet?
I have no idea. That's a good question. The thing you have to realize, though, is Opal's kind of attacking Bolin for making this decision, when in reality, Bolin's such a naive person. Like, he really has such good intentions with this, because even when you're watching him serve people the food and help them, he has a smile on his face. He's in his element, you know? There's no ill intentions for what he's doing.
But I don't think he's naive enough to not know what's going on.
Yeah, which part of me is obviously he's there.
I think
he wants to keep an eye on her.
I think
maybe he's the smartest of them all.
I think maybe he went into it with good intentions and has realized quickly what is going on. Mm-hmm. But I think he stays because he knows it will be a benefit to him in the future.
Yeah, I agree.
Which it ends up being.
You know, I'm really looking forward to this season because I really don't remember a lot. Every time we watch an episode, it's kind of like season 3.
It's kind of like we're watching it for the first time.
Yeah, so it's really, I remember, of course, like the big things that happen, but there's little things that affect the big things that I forget about. So it's really cool to rewatch this and to kind of get a fresh view on it, especially because my views have changed drastically, I would say, from when I first watched it. Like, I feel like I am a completely different person from who I was back then. You know what I mean? So I have a different, like, perception and view of things now watching it again.
Yeah, I just can't, like, stop thinking about Kuvira's personality and how toxic, but, like, everyone bends the knee to her.
Yeah. Even the people who really don't want to.
Because there's no point in going against her at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the real people suffering on this one are the innocent people.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
That's the sad part, is you're like, wow. Like I said, these people are so desperate, they don't even care. They don't care what's happening. They're just like, we want to live. And think about, like, the parents that have families and children. You know, of course you're going to do anything to support your family. Even if it means giving up your culture, giving up your land, you know?
Well, it's like it
just sucks that, like, that's what it has to come to. Like, there's no other alternative.
The last thing that happens in this episode is Kuvira shows up to that town, Yai, or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. And the leader of the place and all the people in it are like, no, we're not letting you colonize us, type thing. She's like, fine, then let the bandits destroy you. So then... was that where Kai and Opal, was that why they were getting the supplies for that town?
Yeah, so that they wouldn't have to go with Kuvira.
So they almost have they have the supplies, they're almost to that place, and then they just get stolen again by the bandits. So mm-hmm. it's like you already get this vibe that, like, you can't stop Kuvira. Mm-hmm. It is going to take something.
The guy even tells Kai, he said, it's almost like we never had a choice. Because Kai's like, I think you're making the right choice by going with her. And he's like, did we ever have one?
Yeah, and it's like, dang.
You know, and I think I just realized this. The thing that they do well in this is you know that there's something wrong with Kuvira. You know there's something just doesn't sit well with you when you watch it. But when they show up and she brings out like those robots and all the baskets of food, you see everyone celebrating and they're letting the kids play with the robots and everyone's happy. And so you feel happy in that moment. If you hadn't watched it, I would feel like, oh, maybe she's not so bad. Like, maybe she's not the evil person. Maybe, like, she actually is a good person. But that's the thing, is they want you to think that. They want you to think that she is a really good person and that maybe everyone else is just wrong about her, you know?
I don't think I ever thought that, because before that, like, yeah, they're having a good time, but it just comes off as very manipulative, because it is. And very toxic. It's like...
Yeah,
you can have this happiness and success, but only if you do what I say.
Yeah.
Only if you are under my control. I have the power now. Mm-hmm. Strip the power completely from you, and I'll give you this in return.
But
it's very
I'm saying this from a lens of, like, you've never seen the show before. Because I wouldn't have known that she's very, like, manipulative unless I watched the show. You know? So, to me,
Our order's almost here, guys.
We just got DoorDash, so it's almost here. That's why we're getting a little excited. But you know what I mean? If I had not watched this yet and I had seen this character, I would be like, oh, maybe she's not that bad. Like, maybe they're overreacting. You find out later, of course they're not. But if you're watching this from a new lens, I guess you could say, I guess that's how I would view it. But I mean, I don't really remember. I wish we were watching this for the first time and documenting, like, our things so we could go back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then like compare it to this watch through.
Yeah, exactly.
I just love the beginning of this season because we're not in a new area. It's the Earth Kingdom. I would argue to say, in the Avatar universe, we see the most of the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah.
Like, the place we're in the most is the Earth Kingdom.
There's so much of it, and so much happens.
But that's why it's not boring, at least for me personally, is because there is so much to explore in the Earth Kingdom. There's so much land. And that is what makes it even crazier, knowing that information and knowing how much Kuvira has already gathered and, like, united it behind her is just... And then you go into Korra's storyline, and it's like, Korra, you have a lot coming for you when you make it back. Like,
literally, like, you've been gone for a few years.
You better prepare.
Yeah, things are changing, things are happening, you know?
But that's where people like Bolin in his position will benefit in the future for the rest of the team.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he has the inside info.
Yeah, I agree.
Dang, I'm loving where all of the characters are. Okay, no, not loving where Mako's at.
Okay, we talked about this yesterday. Mako's that character where, to me, Season 3 Mako was honestly the best. But anything before that is like... I mean, before or after, Mako's just not a character. His personality trait is literally a pessimistic, negative person.
Yeah.
You know?
And like you said, you don't want that around you.
Yeah, like, if you're trying to be a positive person, or more, even just a realistic person, you don't want someone constantly being like, oh, this is so bad. We're in such a bad situation. Or, I hate my life. You know? Like, you just want to be
I'm kind of glad he's forced to go with the Earth King.
Karma. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, karma.
What comes around goes around.
I'm sorry, but like when you have people like Asami and Bolin that actively try to do better, and Asami's making big plays while Korra's gone with Republic City. Yeah. That's hard to do, and her dad is like locked up still.
Asami is honestly such a good character.
Asami is She's an entrepreneur, like
independent, strong woman without having any bending. Like we talked about, she's such
and seemingly doing it by herself.
Yeah, with her mom's dead. Her dad literally turned against her, is in prison, and she had to watch her boyfriend foot the Avatar.
She has to deal with the freaking mayor. The mayor is so oblivious to everything. He's just a puppet.
Yeah, he really is.
Like, he is the definition of a politician.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, 100%.
And Asami's just like...
Like I guess I have to play these political games just to get, like...
I feel like she runs that down.
I know.
I want a backstory to Asami. I need an in-between storyline of what Asami does, like day to day.
I'm so excited.
Because we don't see enough.
For Season 4. Honestly, you know what's crazy is I was dreading re-recording this because, not dreading it, but we'd already said so much, but it's reigniting my hype.
There's so much more you can talk about too that we didn't get into.
Yeah. But we can always cover it or come back to it on different episodes too. Plus, we're going to do a recap of every season at the end of this. So, I'm so excited.
Anyways,
plus our food's here, so we got to go.
Yeah, my name is Isaac.
I'm Rachel. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you next week with another episode of
Let's Talk Avatar.
Let's Talk Avatar.
Yep, we got there. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you want to connect with us outside of our podcast, you can find us on Instagram at Let's Talk Avatar. As always, thank you so much for your support.